Lead-212 generates in the body bismuth-212. It's an alpha emitter that can have a really powerful therapeutic impact on tumors.
Lead-212 is actually not an alpha emitter. The daughter is bismuth-212 as well as polonium-212. And with the purification process that we have, we obtain pure lead. And it takes some time for the daughters to grow in, but we don't want to wait to manufacture and ship it out. So we do need special equipment to quality control it, whether it's to quantify it, but also for ITLC and HPLC. And this is where LabLogic's is coming in to help us out. So currently what we've been doing was fraction collection and then counting them in autogamma counter with a multi-channel analyzer to discriminate between Lead-212 and the daughters for two different reasons. The bismuth complex has a different retention time of the peptide than the lead complex. And because of the compton scattering, it is interfering in the Lead-212 window because the multi-channel analyzer is not capable of taking into account the continuum. So even though there's no peak, the noise is such that the report that it spits it out doesn't really show the level of purity just because of that noise from the daughter. So that's essentially the reason we do the fraction collection. Not only is it more time consuming than doing inline quantification, but also having to wait for the daughters to decay in order to quantify it properly in an autogamma counter is time consuming as well. In order to not have to retype everything coming out from the CSVs that the autogamma counter generates, we had to create a custom macro in Excel to process the data and generate the reports. So while it works, it's not ideal.
So with the Spec-RAM LC, it's an online detector. The sample flows through the gamma spectrometer. We generate a gamma spectrum, and we use that to create a chromatogram just for the Lead-212. That's instant post-run, so no waiting around, no manual labor, exactly like people are doing today with fluorine-18 or gallium. So the same result, no additional work.
By doing it in line and being able to do, taking into account the continuum, because with your software, you're able to really see where the peak starts over the background. So you're only integrating this, and therefore in the bismuth, even though it generates some compton scattering, it doesn't get quantified because there's no peak. So it only looks for peaks and it doesn't just look for an increase in the noise. So we do get the quantification and the spectrum that we're expecting from individual fractions, because it is still, even though it's not fraction collected, it's still fractions of count times that allows to have the spectra that you would expect from an HPLC that matches the UV.
So there's already a few people who've seen the advantage that have ordered a unit as an early adopter. It's in their labs being used on a daily basis, and we're already getting feedback that people are getting not just the same results as they were getting before, but better and more precise results, much more quickly without any of the difficulties that were associated with the previous method. So yeah, it's in use. The results are promising, and a couple of customers already submitting a new IND based on this technology.
Working with Dave has been great. The entire team has really been great to work with, and very impressed with what you've been able to establish in such a short amount of time.
I think it's always been really interesting to me to go out on site, like working in the lab with the customers. It's always been a part of the job I preferred. So for me, it's been like a joy, I guess, for the work to go out into the lab, spend time with passionate people, finding where the bottlenecks and problems are, and then working with the team back at base at LabLogic to come up with a solution and implement it that solves their problems.